I'm your host Salim bin Mohammad Rafi, and here is my YouTube channel Zamir Universal. Today I'm going to show you the ugliest and the filthiest and the dirtiest side of a picture. Every picture has two sides, white and black. And I'm going to show you the hero of the wasps, or the English, that is the common, I think they have this name. Wasp is that, that bites you and normally your face or your body swells up because of the poison. So this is how the poisonous these British people have been, and this is what they have done to the whole world, the British. All the problems you are facing now is that they are because of these beasts. And you know that I don't want to name that because it is haram in Islam, and I don't want to even mention the name of that animal, what they are. So when you're dealing with that, and you know that it is only this animal where the son will just ride over the mother and produce 16 piglets. Now I'm going to talk to you about their hero, who was found naked and sleeping with his mistress with a glass of whiskey in his hand. And when the Second World War was there, and it's a common thing, he said that nobody can beat us, we will win because we have justice in this country. You damn you hell, you are the most cruelest, unjust person on earth. And you said, let the Indians die of famine, they breed like rats, and divert all the wheat to Britain, and so that feed them, but let millions of Indians die. That is one aspect of you. Now the other one, where I'm going to play a little thing, that what you did to draw United States of America in the Second World War, how dirty, how filthy you played, and how you cheated and deceived the Londoners. There would have never been an attack. Hitler would have never attacked any British city or the population or killed the civilians. He was only attacking the harbors and all where the war places. And you force them, and you listen to that. Because of copyrights, I'm just going to only play the audio of the person, and you will recognize his voice. The British obviously, and the Americans will. So that shows you how a hero is really zero, because that is his ugly behind, that is his ugly side. And history must be rewritten to show the ugly side of these people if you want any improvement on this planet.
Churchill said to Kennedy, you watch when Adolf Hitler begins bombing London and bombing towns in Britain like Boston and Lincoln, towns with their counterparts in the United States. You Americans will have to come in, won't you? You can't just stand aside and watch us suffering. But he knew from code breaking, he knew from reading the German Air Force signals, which we had broken on May 26, 1940, that Hitler had given orders that no British town was to be bombed. London was completely embargoed. German Air Force was allowed to bomb ports and harbors and dockyards, but not towns as such. And Churchill was greatly aggrieved by this, and he wondered how much longer Hitler could avoid carrying on war like this. But Hitler, as we know, carried on until September 1940 without bombing any English towns. The embargo stayed in force. You can see it in the German archives now, and we know from the code breaking of the German signals that Churchill was reading Hitler's orders to the German Air Force not on any account to bomb these towns. So there was no way that we could drag in the Americans that way unless we could provoke Hitler to do it. Which is why on August the 25th, 1940, Churchill gave the order to the British Air Force to go and bomb Berlin. Although the chief of the Bomber Command and the chief of staff of the British Air Force warned him that if we bomb Berlin, Hitler may very well lift the embargo on bombing British towns. And Churchill just twinkled, because it was what he wanted, of course. At 9:15 that morning, he telephoned personally to the Bomber Command himself to order the bombing of Berlin, 100 bombers to go and bomb Berlin. They went out to bomb Berlin that night, and Hitler still didn't move. Hitler ordered another raid on Berlin, and so it went on for the next 7 or 10 days until finally on September the 4th, Hitler lost his patience and made that famous speech in the Sport Palace in Berlin in which he said, this madman has bombed Berlin now 7 times. he bombs Berlin once more, then I shall not only just attack their towns, I shall wipe them out. Ich werde ihre Städte ausradieren. A very famous speech. Of course, German school children are now told about the Hitler speech. They're not told about what went first. They're not told how Churchill sent out deliberately to provoke the bombing of his own capital. And on the following day, Churchill ordered Berlin bombed again. And the result was the German Air Force started bombing the docks in London, the East End of London, finally the City of London and the West End on the 6th and 7th of September 1940. And in September 1940, 7,000 Londoners were killed in the bombing as a result of Churchill's deliberate provocation. The files are there, the archives are there. No wonder Harold Macmillan didn't want my book published.
यूनिवर्सल टेलीविजन को सब्सक्राइब करना न भूलें। उसके बाद बेल बटन पे क्लिक करें और अपने कमेंट्स के सेक्शन में अपने कीमती जो ख्यालात का इजहार ज़रूर